We have this phrase in the English language when something's very difficult, we talk about it being brain surgery. Or if something's not very difficult, we say, hey, it's not brain surgery to do this. In other words, we kind of elevate brain surgery as like the pinnacle of complex tasks. But what's very interesting is I'm reading this book right now by Dr. Caroline Leaf. I highly recommend it. It's called Switch on Your Brain. And what it is it's all around epigenetics. And you may have heard that term before, maybe you haven't, but I'll tell you what, I know you know this concept. You see, there's this concept in personal growth that is all about as a person thinks, so they are. In fact, that's a book by James Allen, I believe, As a Man Thinketh. But in my favorite book, it talks about that exact concept as well. In other words, how we think shapes our reality. That's crazy. I mean, when you really unpack that, because most of us have been taught from a very young age that everything's about genetics, right? Hey, if you have bad genes, then it's an excuse, or you know what, the reason why we have certain health conditions is because of our genes. Well, the latest in neuroscience actually proves that it's our thoughts that turn on and off certain genes. Now you might say, Kary, prove it to me. Okay, there's been studies done with identical twins who have the same exact genes inside their bodies, and one has asthma and one doesn't. Explain that for a moment. Now you might say, Kary, that's crazy. Are you telling me that because certain people think they're going to have asthma that they do? Listen, you can interpret the data however you want, but what I'm saying today is that we are actually, every single one of us, brain surgeons. We are brain surgeons. It's called neuroplasticity. You've heard me talk about it before, but our brains are no longer this locked in reality, but they're malleable. They can change just like a plastic. Go ahead, do some Googling, check it out. But I'm telling you, the way you think literally changes the way your brain operates. So in a very true way, you are a brain surgeon. Isn't that nuts? You're a brain surgeon. I'm a brain surgeon. Now, some of us who have a deep faith, that's like normal. I mean, we've been reading that passage forever. It's in this book called Romans, and it talks about, I believe it's Romans, gotta check me on that, but it talks about it says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, the neuroplasticity of your mind. Isn't that crazy? The epigenetics of your mind. So folks, what I'm trying to do today is give you the good news. If you come from this long history of generational struggles regarding alcoholism or obesity or other conditions, you can wake up every day and say, you know what? That's just my genes. That's just who I am. That's, my past dictates my future. Or you can do what science is teaching. You can do what scripture is teaching, and you can begin to change your brain. You can begin to practice the brain surgery that you have been divinely gifted with from your Creator. This is Kary Oberbrunner. I hope I'm stirring the pot today. I hope I'm mixing it up, because I'll tell you what, when I heard that little passage by Dr. Caroline Leaf, Switch on Your Brain, it rocked my world. In fact, I'm going to do another video all about this, but with a little twist. So be looking for that one. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Share it, post it. Let's get the conversation going. Let's begin to own the role as self-identified brain surgeons. Be a soul on fire.